Cheer. You guys are now listening to the Mr. Sanchez Show. I'm your host, Mr. Sanchez. I got my producer in the back, Young Glizzy, on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. We appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to all the new subscribers and the new viewers. We appreciate y'all. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. So getting into the show, how you guys doing? Today we're going to go over some topics. We got Alligator Alcatraz. We're going to go over the 100-mile-an-hour new Miami-Dade law. We got Elon Musk, new political party. The big, beautiful bill passes. Texas floods. We're going to give our prayers out to the people in Texas. In entertainment news, Diddy beats the case. Unfortunately, 4 extra famous no-jumper hosts, one of my favorite no-jumper hosts, had a fireworks accident. We're going to go over that. And we got the new UFC at the White House. So tune in. It's going to be a great show. All right, let's start off. We missed last week. Schedules got complicated, but we're back. You know what I'm saying? We're dedicated. I hope you guys had a good July 4th. I had a good July 4th. I didn't really get to do nothing too special. It fell on a Friday night. I'm booked on Friday nights. Glizzy, how was your July 4th?
Mine was pretty good, dude. I had my anniversary is on July 4th, so I chose with my girl.
Oh, nice. What'd you guys end up doing?
I went to this restaurant, and then we went to Topgolf, which is a good time. Never been.
Oh yeah, were you able to hit the ball far?
Dude, I was able to hit it far, like after a few tries. Yeah.
I never did it, bro. I went one time, and it was like an hour wait. So I ended up at the bar, ended up getting hammered, and then when they called me up to go, I sat down and banged my head like on this like ledge thing, gave myself a little concussion, got mad and went home. So I never went. And then when I was in Vegas, I was staying at the MGM Grand, and they had one, and I always wanted to go, and I didn't go. Maybe next Tuesday we could all ride.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
Have a good time. Is it expensive?
No, not really. I mean, it depends on your term of expensive. Like $100 isn't crazy to me.
No, but $100 per person, or $100 you and your girl?
Nah, $100 me and my girl.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and we had drinks, so.
All right. That's cool. I've been doing the same thing. Just striving to overcome negative energy. I stayed in the gym, but I ate too many carbs, bro. And it's crazy how in 1 week your body can change if you start eating carbs. All the veins disappeared from my arms. I got a little bit more chubby, so I got to get back on. I got to get back on the broccoli and chicken breast, bro. There's no other way. What else? All right, women and ChatGPT. I want to talk about that, bro. ChatGPT is kind of taking over everywhere. Everybody's using it, and be wary if your girl is using it for personal things, bro, because that shit ends up becoming their psychologist, right? And if they get mad, and they start talking to ChatGPT about you, ChatGPT is artificial intelligence, but what it really does, you're basically talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you're always talking to it about problems or about your boyfriend or about anything like that, it's just going to regurgitate your own ideas back at you in a more educated way. You know what I mean? So, a lot of women are using it for their psychology, for relationship advice, for spiritual guidance. If your girl don't got Chat GPT, bro, do not recommend it to her, because it might take her down a dark hole of hating you, dude.
My girl uses ChatGPT as her best friend, dude.
Yeah, but have you ever seen it?
Her using it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before you know it, I think it's going to start calling you a narcissist and a misogynist. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not fully true.
But yeah, man, be wary of ChatGPT, bro. I only use it to solve problems and help me out with my podcast. If I need to do something around the house, I'll use ChatGPT to, tell me how to change an alternator in my car, tell me how to fix a problem with my computer. But I don't start talking to that thing about my personal life, you know what I mean? And in the future, there's probably going to be a war between AI and humanity. And I don't want AI to know every little thing about me and how my brain works. I get enough of that between the Alexa, my iPhone, my Google searches, and all that. They
AI
already know
knows
enough about me. They don't need to know my inner personal demons and thoughts. You know what I mean? So fuck ChatGPT, dude. We saw Terminator 2. We know what the future holds, bro. Don't talk to ChatGPT about your personal problems. But all right, moving on to the topics. We got Alligator Alcatraz. Pull that up, cuz. There we go. We got the swamp puppies out there. But yeah, so basically, bro, they threw up a little detention center in the middle of the Everglades. You know what I mean? Yeah, there it is. To hold migrants before they deport them. You know what I mean? Now, they said that that's like bringing a lot of jobs to Miami and Florida. And it's true. I saw on Indeed, bro, they're paying $3,000 a week to work there. I would so do it, but you have to already be a licensed correctional officer. You have to live on the property. They give you like little bunk beds and shit, and they feed you. $3,000 a week is not bad, but it says it's a temporary position, so it doesn't work for me. But if you guys, are retired correction officers or law enforcement, just know, bro, that's a good opportunity to make some money. You know what I mean? $3,000 a week, that's pretty good in today's thing. The left is going crazy about it. They're super mad about it. Who cares? Who cares what they think? You know what I mean? All right, moving on. We got a new law in Miami-Dade County, which is going to affect a lot of people that I know. Moving on to the 100-mile-an-hour law. So basically, if you get caught doing 100 miles an hour in Miami or pretty much anywhere in Florida, it is mandatory up to 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. That's messed up, bro. You know what I mean? That's messed up. I grew up customizing cars, performance cars, and I had plans in the future to get a Corvette. You know what I mean? I used to have a Charger 392. That thing was so much fun. I had ripping up the road in that. But, yeah, bro. I mean, 30 days in jail for going 100 miles an hour, that's pretty crazy. I know a lot of people. That's going to affect a lot of people. I understand the law because there's a tragedy happened in Miami where somebody was doing 85 and a 35, lost control of their car, killed a pedestrian, unalived them, and that was the catalyst to this law. There's also a new trend on the internet where like kids, they put like GoPro cameras on their cars and they zigzag out of traffic crazy, like at 100 plus miles an hour. And I've been on the road and they've flown by me. It's super dangerous, But, idiots mess it up for everybody. You know what I mean? Like if you're on the turnpike and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you got a ZR1 Corvette that you supercharge, well, yeah, it's already come supercharged, but you know what I'm saying? You put money into it and you want to let it rip. I mean, you shouldn't have to do 30 days in jail over that. 30 days in jail will mess your life up. It will flip it upside down, That's 1 month of not to make money to pay your bills. And you're probably going to lose your job if you don't go to work for 30 days, to be honest. Having to make a collect call from jail to your boss and say, I got caught doing 101 in my Porsche or my Corvette, I'm not going to be around for 30 days. That's pretty crazy. But, just guys, be wary out there. It's not only if you do over 100 miles an hour, it's also if you're doing 50 miles an hour over the speed limit. So if you're in a 35-mile-an-hour zone and you get caught doing 85, bam, 30 days in jail. The second offense is 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. And the third offense, within 5 years, is license suspension for 180 days to 1 year. Shit, I'd rather have my license suspended for 180 days than do 30 days in jail or 90 days in jail. That's just me, though. I'd rather take an Uber for 180 days than lose my job and get all messed up. I don't know, get an e-bike or something. But, yeah, man, you guys just be wary out there. Everybody who, has performance cars and is out there, Miami's the land of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. Just be careful. All right, moving on. Elon Musk's going to start a new political party, the America Party. Dude, Elon Musk, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't think he's going to be successful in this. Let's look at his tweet. Independence Day, the perfect time to ask if you want independence from a two-party, some would say uniparty system. Should we create an America Party? By a factor of 2 to 1, you want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not in a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. Now, I like it. I like it, right? Because I'm not ignorant to the fact that our system kind of sucks. You know what I mean? The Democrats and the Republicans are two wings of the same bird. You know, they fight back and forth, but at the same time they kind of do the same thing. You know what I mean? And it would be cool to have a new party of people that are you know what I mean, are away from that system. But will it work? I don't think so. Is it very dangerous for Elon Musk to be doing this? Yeah. You know, if you follow history, anybody who tries to start a third party or starts having success with it, you know, usually a series of unfortunate events happens to them. And I don't think right now he's got the juice to actually pull it off. You know what I mean? Um, he kind of lost support from the left, and now he's losing support from the right. You know, he's a multi-billionaire, and that goes a long way as far as muscle and getting things you want done. But I don't think he's going to have much success with it. But let's see. I mean, I don't trust the guy 100%. You know, he has an AI kind of future for America. He wants everything automated. He wants everything AI driven. And like, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? What kind of jobs are we going to have if AI is doing every little thing for us? Not everybody's going to be a doctor, a lawyer, and a nurse. You know what I mean? But maybe that's the future. And if you don't get down with the get down, you get left behind. But that's what's going on, man. The big beautiful bill passes. It is the law of the land. Let's see. Big beautiful bill. Yeah, ask ChatGPT what are the key points of the big beautiful bill, Glizzy. I know that there's a lot of there's good things, you know, like the tax cut from Trump's first administration. They had to put it in there because it was going to end at the end of this year. So that means everybody's taxes were going to go up. So I know they extended that. You know, it does cut a lot of health care for, you know, like Obamacare and food stamps and things like that, which that kind of sucks. But I guess they had to trim the fat somewhere. They had to put border security is going to be on there. No tax on tips is going to be on there, but it's only going to be to $25,000. There's going to be no overtime deductions, right? Yeah. Up to $25K or $12.5K. That's a great thing for hourly workers. Auto loan interest, you're going to be able to deduct the interest from your taxes if you buy a new car. That's dope. What else? Big money for the national security, defense, and immigration enforcement. That's cool. That's what we voted for. And yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the highlight of Trump's presidency. You know what I mean? At least he was able to get something substantial passed. And the midterms are coming up, so everything else they say they're going to do, they're not going to do it because of the midterms. So they usually get everything, all the good stuff, they usually get it in the first 2 years before the midterms. After that, they leave everything to the end, and then that stuff doesn't get passed. Also, for the gun guys, the suppressors and the short-barreled rifles were supposed to be taken off the NFA completely last minute. A Democrat pulled that. So you still have to get the tax stamp, but it's not $200. But you still have to go through the paperwork. You're still going to have the restrictions. The NRA is putting a lawsuit to combat that. So the fight ain't over. Contact your senator. Let him know that you support taking that stuff off of the NFA. What else? We got Texas floods, bro. There was a bad Texas flood. Women and children's bodies were recovered, unfortunately, and it was just a very ugly natural disaster. You know, you can't escape it. You can't escape Mother Nature. Every state has its problems. You know what I mean? Like here, we're worried about hurricanes and floods and losing power. If you move to the West Coast, you got to worry about wildfires burning down your house. If you move to Texas, you have to worry about tornadoes and wild rain. If you go to the East Coast, you got to worry about blizzards and, and sanctuary cities with crazy people who want to kill you on the subway. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to escape Mother Nature. You just got to deal with it, you know? Yeah. Unfortunately. Play the thing on Texas, cuz.
And hope in Texas this morning after catastrophic floods. At least 82 people have died, mostly in Kerr County.
Rain,
this is outside San Antonio.
That's
Dozens, though, are still missing.
That's why it's good to live on the third floor.
Includes children from Camp Mystic, one of multiple camps along the Guadalupe River. Many now question if there was enough advance warning of this. CBS News correspondent.
That's why them houses are so cheap on there. If you guys be on Instagram, they'll be like, "Oh, look at this amazing house you get in the middle of Texas for like $300 grand. It looks like a mansion."
Help us understand.
Yeah, because it's in freaking Tornado Alley.
And how things look today.
Well, it's been stunning for people, Errol, to see the extent of destruction. And this is in an area of the country, a part of Texas, where they know it as Flash Flood Alley.
The first responders spread out across the Guadalupe River. They climbed over debris piles, searched mangled cars, and combed riverbanks. The floodwaters.
Yeah, we got to get one of those boats, dude.
Torrential rain caused one river to surge nearly 26 feet
That's a fact.
in just 45 minutes.
I mean, I don't think that'll happen. Nah, it's possible.
Well, it won't happen
Yeah,
here. Crazy.
it
could happen here anytime, bro.
Docked the shoreline of the Guadalupe. At Camp Mystic, an all-girls summer camp, the river started running through cabins where children were sleeping.
Yo, I'm gonna buy one of those
inflatable
boats.
Are still missing.
We're
Why didn't I
looking
think of that?
for places that they're gonna
Little motor
potentially
on
be
it.
alive.
Put our gear.
Further down the river,
Save
the
dogs,
flooding
save
ripped
children.
through homes and campgrounds where families were staying for the holiday weekend.
We're still hoping for the best. That's all we can do.
All right, moving on to entertainment news,
Hold
bro.
on, dude. Let's give him a moment of silence.
All right, you want to pay some respects? Let's give a moment of silence for the 82 victims of the Texas flood.
Yeah.
All right.
Pray that they're all, hopefully, I know there was some unfortunate events, but hopefully everyone is okay.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on to the entertainment news. Diddy beats the case, bro. I knew it. You know what I mean? There was time. For the most part, I thought he was going to beat the case because it wasn't it was just bad charges on the government. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have charged him with that. They should have just charged him with, beating up Cassie because they had him red-handed with that. They should have charged him with
domestic violence.
Yeah, that. Yeah. That's kind of like what I said. And maybe some of the prostitution stuff. You know what I mean? That is illegal. You know what I mean? But let's see. On the first count, the RICO, he was not guilty. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't running a criminal sex trafficking ring. He wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And Bad Boy Records wasn't an illegal crime syndicate. So that was a bad choice on the prosecution. Shout out to his lawyers, bro. He had some amazing lawyers. I don't know why they didn't let the cameras be in there, but man, his lawyers, they were worth the money. Count 2, sex trafficking, Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Yeah, well, I could have told you that. You know what I mean? She was a witness because if she wasn't a witness, she would have been a co-conspirator. She would have also gotten charged. So I feel like they told her, either you're going to sing or you're going to be on the defense side standing with him with all those charges. Because every person that they booked was paid for, called by, negotiated, and organized by her. You know what I mean? So not guilty on that. The man, this is what I don't understand. The transportation for Cassie Ventura, which is the Mann Act, he got hit guilty on that. That is a maximum of 10 years on that charge. Now, I don't understand that. Bro. Like, if count 2 is sex trafficking and he was found not guilty of sex trafficking Cassie Ventura, how could he be found guilty on the Mann Act transportation of her for prostitution? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Also, Jane Doe, which is 50's baby mama, not guilty on sex trafficking her, but guilty on transportation for sex trafficking her. Doesn't make sense to me. Legal experts say at the maximum he'll do 3 years with 1 year already served. So he's probably got about a year and a half before he comes home, worst case scenario. You know, you never know. The judge could be vengeful and max him out, you know, and they would run concurrently. So worst case scenario, he'll get 10 years in prison.
The important thing is that we don't condone anything Diddy did, and we don't agree with it. But did he deserve racketeering charges, crime organization? Probably not.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely not. I think there was ulterior motives for this case. I feel like it was to run his name through the mud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It was
get back for suing those liquor companies and crossing people he shouldn't have crossed.
Well, I think he didn't get no money from the liquor companies because there was like a moral clause in there, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's still in limbo. But he definitely did win a lawsuit, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happened. But shout out to all the people in the comments who were roasting me every time we put a short up there saying that he was going to beat the case. Everybody said, he's not going to beat the case, bro. He's this, he's that.
They called us idiots, dude.
Of course, so they always do. But, yeah, you know, we were right. We were right about that. There was no RICO thing on there. Now let's see how he recovers from that. You know what I mean? Do people care?
I think people care, dude. I don't think he's in a recovery.
I don't think people care, bro. If you're an up and coming rapper and next year Diddy offers you $1 million contract, are you gonna do it?
It depends. I gotta go to a Diddy party.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
You just gotta leave early, like everybody else did, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Not if you want that contract.
Yeah, and now we know all his dirty little secrets about what he likes getting rubbed on his chest, paws, and all that other stuff. Does that hurt his image? I don't know. I don't think it was no secret that he was fruity before that.
No.
If you asked me before this, I would be like, yeah, everybody knows that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still, you know, revolt is still a thing. And if I was him, I would be bitter at a lot of people for not defending me, right? Yeah. Because, you know, he had a lot of fake friends. And
that's what happens when you're up there, though.
That's when you know who's loyal to you or not. You know what I mean? When you're in the gutter and you're about to do life in prison, you're gonna see who's gonna be around you, who's not gonna be around you. So, you know, we wish him the best. I hope he gets, you know, some therapy for his demons. I hope he's able to go to rehab and shake those substances out of his system that he was allegedly hooked on. And you know, I want to see him be the mogul that he always was. And, you know, we wish him the best, right?
I don't. But, I mean, for sure, there's some people out there that now have the recipe for success if you guys want to go to a Diddy party.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Chill.
You never know.
That's not my kind of party. All right, moving on. No Jumper, famous host, 4 Extra. One of my favorite hosts on No Jumper. You know, I find him very entertaining. I find him very genuine. And, bro, he did what a lot of people do, bro. You know, they play with fireworks on July 4th. He had some M80s in his hands. You know what I mean? And when we were kids, bro, we used to play with those M80s. You ever play with those the quarter stick of dynamites?
Yeah.
They were hard. Yeah, there they go. They were hard to get. You know what I mean? Now, allegedly, there used to be young kids in my old neighborhood who used to put those in mailboxes and blow them to the high heavens, bro. You know what I mean? I even knew a kid who got arrested by the feds for doing it because he was like famous in my neighborhood for it because he would get them and he would do it to the big blue boxes from the mail. And, bro, the feds started watching him. This kid was like 13 years old. And they raided his house and they busted him. He got in a lot of trouble. His parents had to pay a lot of money. You know what I mean? But those things are powerful, bro. Powerful. When I was a kid, I got my hand on like 2 of them, and I blew them up in my backyard. And
that's enough fun for me, dude.
Yeah, bro, it's scary. You know what I mean? It's super scary. But, you know, people were saying, you know, he might have been drunk or been smoking. Why would he hold on to the wick so long? You know, you never know what happened, but you know, if you know 4 Extra, he prides himself on never drinking, never doing drugs, and you know, he preaches that. So I know he wasn't intoxicated when it happened. It was just an accident. Now, he's not the first guy I know that's done this. I've known other people. Like,
I know a few people.
Yeah, so it's like super dangerous, bro. Like, don't let your kids play with fireworks. Don't do it if you've been drinking. I personally have learned from other people's mistakes, I ain't playing with that. You know what I mean? And definitely not in your hand. Like, worst thing we would do is, like, put it down on the floor, light it, and then watch it blow up. Not light it in our hand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's hard because, you know, he also got famous for talking about his fist fights in jail, right? And he was about to do some celebrity boxing. You know
Not anymore.
Or he was going to fight Aaron the plumber and stuff like that, and his hand is destroyed, bro. I saw the x-rays. He has no palm. It blew up in his palm.
Oh.
So, yeah, so he only has, like, he doesn't have a thumb anymore or nothing like that. He has a GoFundMe, if you guys know 4 Extra. I would link it, but it's too much work right now. We're, like, live. Can't do it. But just, you know, Google 4 Extra, GoFundMe if you guys want to, you know, send his family some money. You know what I mean? But that went viral, man. You know, it's a very unfortunate event, dude. I hate to see that happen to anybody, especially a guy like him who is trying to fix his life, you know what I'm saying, and try to better himself. That's a setback. And moving on to our last topic is going to be sports. Trump says he's going to do a UFC event at the White House, and I love it. Play it.
Dana, we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too. And to fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system. For this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans. And we're going to do that. The national parks will be about America first. We're going to.
All right, so there's going to be a UFC event on the White House lawn. That's dope, man. We got good rumors that John Jones has come out of retirement. He's going to be on the card. I don't think he's going to fight Tom Aspinall because he retired. He relinquished his belt, so maybe we'll see him maybe against another big name that's not so dangerous. Who knows? Maybe he goes back down to light heavyweight at 205 where he looks more comfortable and leaner. Conor McGregor has said that he wants to come back to fight, to do a trilogy with, damn, I forgot that guy's name. It don't matter. But he says he might come back. Let's see if Conor can get cleaned up and make an event. But it's going to be fun, you know? No more trans parties on the White House lawn like the other side likes to do. We're going to throw a nice UFC event. What do you think about that, Glizzy?
I think it's fire. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'd like to go there and watch it, bro.
I would too, but you know, like the UFC tickets, bro, they're like $700 when they're here in Miami.
And
so
you know that one
at
is
that White House.
if a so-so card in Miami is $800 for the mid level, imagine what the White House is going to be with Conor McGregor and John Jones on the card. It's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Exactly, bro.
So yeah, that might be out of our price range, including tickets and
dude, we're poor, dude.
Hotel. It's true. I never claimed to be rich, dude.
That's why we do this, dude. We're poor.
But it's fine. It doesn't bother me because I've never been rich. So I don't know what I'm missing out on.
Exactly.
You feel me? So I'm happy in my own skin, bro. You know what I mean?
It's funny because it's true.
I'm the point where I'm comfortable. I have everything I want. But if I go to jail for 30 days for speeding, my life will be flipped upside down.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm that poor. You know what I mean? But, yo, shout out to you guys for watching. If you made it this far, you were a real one. Thank you guys so much. God bless y'all. Good night.